Hello folks and welcome to another ICE video. Today we're going to be playing and hopefully I'm going to be showing you the new deck in Modern. This is a little brew that I've been working on my stream, and the idea was starting with the shell of the green-white value town decks of yore. Collected Company, Corsair, Crewfix, Knight of the Reliquary, and Mana Dorks. And I added a little bit of, just a tiny little bit of spice. And of course we threw in there the whole Reclaimer package. Elvish Reclaimer plus Flagstones of Trocaire. They said that it was gonna be over with the ban of Field of the Dead, but I am that stubborn. So the idea is we want to be on turn 1 playing either a Mana Dork with Birds of Paradise or Noble Hierarch. That allows us to turn 2 a 3-drop, or we can turn 1 Elvish Reclaimer and then use turn 2 to activate said Reclaimer in order to get value from it. So even though we don't have access to Field of the Dead anymore, we still have access to the powerful Valakut plus Dryad combo. And conveniently enough, Dryad being a 3-mana card, we can find it off Collected Company. Not only that, but we also have access to Skyclave Apparition, which is probably like the most relevant card for making this deck functional. Apparition is just absolutely nuts. It can answer anything that we can consider problematic, and being able, like, turning your Collected Companies into removal spells plus threat is just disgusting. It really is very, very powerful. So the decks of yore had access to a Ghost Quarter plus Ravenous Excavator plus Azusa Engine. That deck used to play a 1 of Azusa as well. In this case, I'm not going to be playing the Azusa because we already have access to Dryad, but Ravenous Excavator is still very powerful. It's very good with fetch lands, of course, making sure that you can hit your land drops. This is a very, very mana hungry deck, not only because you want to be hitting your land drops in order to enable Valakut, but you also want to hit your land drops and use your mana to crack clues, or you can control the top of your deck with Corsair or Crewfix plus fetch lands plus Knight of the Reliquary or Elvish Reclaimer. Of course, Flagstones work with Reclaimer, but whenever you have a Dryad in play, you can actually sack the Flagstones of Trocaire to the Knight of the Reliquary ability, which is very powerful. But yeah, a lot of little synergies going on with this deck, and everything is pretty lands related. So the only weird card is Scavenging is here mostly to save on some, mostly to save some cyber slots, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, this deck doesn't really work well with 2-drops. Voice of Resurgence is a card that the decks of back in the day used to play. I just think that Voice is just not a very good card, so not interested in playing that. And I tried playing Stoneforge Mystic in this list, and it was very, very bad. Don't recommend trying out Stoneforge in the list. The sideboard, I guess the main deck also, it's a little bit all over the place, but like the main deck has an idea. Okay, the sideboard is covering a lot, try to cover a lot of bases. Bojuka Bog is there because we can get it with both Reclaimer and Knight of the Reliquary, so it's a nice little graveyard hate. Extra removal in Path to Exile, Celestial Purge against the Blood Moons, the prowess of the world. Ariok Champion against the aggressive strategies, Fire Action Revoker against Heliod, against Tron, etc. Archon of Meria and Eidolon of Rhetoric against the spell-based combo decks, Mind Sensor against your amulets and whatnot, Tireless Tracker as extra redundancy in the grinding matchups, Knight of Autumn against the aggressive decks and enchantment decks. I've been working on the deck for maybe 2 weeks at this point. I've been having some very good results with it, so I'm pretty happy with the list. Still a lot of tinkering to be done though. Like we're far from having arrived at a reasonable or at least optimal list. But the deck is a ton of fun, insane amounts of lines, super rewarding to play, and it's just overall a good time. So we're gonna be trying it through a league. So I'll see you there. All right, welcome to round number 1. We're gonna be playing some green-white company. I think I'm gonna ship this hand. This deck really wants to have a 1-drop on turn 3. There's some turn 1, sorry. There are some matchups where I would have kept that hand, but in the blind, I think it's just too important to have a 1-drop. Opponent also moves to 6. I don't know whether my opponent's gonna be playing an aggressive deck or they're gonna be playing something like that. I don't know if my Hierarch is gonna live though, so Okay, so we're playing against an aggro deck. Collective company off the top. Just gonna get rid of the Gobo straight up. Now if we find the land, we can company. If we don't find a land, what we can do is we can Raminap into land into hopefully find a company. Because I'm gonna take this damage here. That's a great draw. That's a truly great draw. I think I'm sending on this apparition because I'm probably not gonna be blocking. Like if I whiff on the company, like the game is over anyway, right? So might as well not give my opponent information. They do know that there's a company in their future, but they don't know when I'm gonna be finding off of it. Let's see what we got. Spin that wheel. Huh. I think I'm gonna get double Dryad because I already have, like, the Dryad is just guaranteed to be able to block. My opponent could have double Lightning Bolt here, but like the problem is that if I get the Nether Reliquary, it's only gonna be a 3/3. That means that my opponent can bolt it in response, and that means that I'm gonna be taking the damage from one of these Swift Spears. So here we just block like this. My opponent can play like bolt one of these Dryads or like Boros Charm Me or whatever. That means that I untap with both of my Dryads. Huh. We can company into so much good stuff though. Like I can just play Raminap Excavator, but I can make 3 land drops, which means I'm not gonna have enough. I think I just have to company here because we might find Courser more, which is the biggest hit. Bingo. Guess I'd rather have a Reclaimer instead of Apparition. Land off the top. Excellent. Hell yeah. Gain a life, play a dude, serve with Apparition. If we untap with Reclaimer, we're gonna win the game. Good stuff. Good stuff. No need to send the Dryads. Like I'm just dealing 4 damage with the one attacker, and I can use the Dryads to block. My opponent could have Bolt into second Boros Charm, but that's probably the only way that they win. Because Reclaimer can really make their life miserable, and this Raminap Excavator is gonna get value. This Raminap Excavator is gonna get value. Skullcrack. Okay. That's kind of annoying, but that's like their last card in hand. So what I can do, so you can get a Raminap Excavator. Cantrip in response. That's a really bad play. Can we set up lethal here? We can sack Ghost Squatter, get Valakut. That's no damage, but we still have 2 landers, so I can play the Ghost Squatter again from the graveyard. That's 3 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 3 damage. Yeah, this is just lethal. Awesome. Sure, I'll take that too. Well, look at that. Always yes, always healed. Sure, I guess that one is also fine. It just doesn't matter. Turning that corner, baby. Turning that corner. That felt powerful. Would you say that was powerful? I'd say that was powerful. All right, Purges, Oreo Champions, Night of Autumn. That's a pretty good showing for a Reclaimer, by the way. I think I want to go with this. Usually against Lava Dart matchups, I just cut all 6 of my mana dorks, but my opponent doesn't have a Lava Dart. They only have Lightning Bolt, so if they're Lightning Bolting my mana dorks, that seems fine to me. Serum Blaze is a big deal, of course, but it is what it is. This hand is sketch. I mean, we do technically have access to Courser, which is one of the best cards in the matchup, so Knight is not bad either, because Knight can very quickly grow past their removal spells, which is a big deal. Eidolon is gross. It's not bad. So now we can Apparition next turn, get rid of the Eidolon. We can even trade with this Gobo, which is nice. And then the following turn, there's a Knight on top. I guess I don't want to draw a Knight. We already have a Knight, so shuffle that away. Definitely have to get rid of that guy. Gonna Apparition, kill Eidolon. If my opponent offers a trade, I'll definitely take it. Serum Blaze. Yep. So I can use Ghost Squatter to Ghost Squatter my own Flagstones. That means I gain life of the Ghost Squatter, and it means I gain 2 more life. So that puts me up to 7. So this is the Ghost Squatter ability. And now this is the Flagstones ability. I'm just going to play 1 drop. So we went up to 7 right there, which is not bad. If we do untap with this Courser, we're going to be looking real good. Oh, my opponent just has lethal. Okay, they just have lethal. Yeah, no, I don't think I was going to be beating that draw anyway. Now we are on the play, however. In this matchup, Eidolon of Rhetoric always kind of tempts me, but just don't think that's where I want to be, particularly on the play. Although I guess on the play we can technically turn to Eidolon, and that could be a pretty big deal. Being on the play in this matchup is going to be, oh man, that would have been so great. Rough. I think I'd rather have lands than creatures. My opponent can bolt here, but that's just fine. Like, that's actually a great exchange for us. Another land is not great, though. Okay. Another land. Okay. So I'm just gonna kill the Swift Spear. If my opponent offers the trade, I'll take it. I guess actually that depends. It's not clear that we want to take the trade. Yeah, I think we actually don't want to take the trade, never mind. Because otherwise our second apparition just doesn't do anything. Man, these are some pretty unfortunate top decks here. These are some pretty unfortunate top decks. Probably gonna play a tap Temple Garden. This is kind of awkward because if I draw a knight, I can cycle Canopy, but my knight is still gonna be a 3/3, which is not great. Opponent is running out of cards. Would love to find a Courser, Knight of Autumn, anything like that. That's a good sign for us though. That is so brutal. That is so brutal. We are racing here though. Well, my opponent is just, yeah. Board Charm, Rift Bolt. Yeah, we're just probably just dead here. Oh, maybe not. There's no way. They're just gonna upkeep. Yeah, that's rough. That's very rough. Yeah, we're just dead. I am trying to percentage turn clock here though. Pretty unfortunate. Pretty unfortunate. I feel like we missed on a couple of key turns where we needed to draw something. We just flooded a little bit too miserably. C'est la vie though. See you for the next round. Alright, here we are for round number 2. And I just realized that it looks a lot better when I have the the record down here. So now that was fixed. This hand looks very good. I like this. Kahira. Well. Wait, what? It's kind of neat. Oof. Well, with my opponent going turn 1 Vile, I just have to hierarch here, right? So I can apparition on 2. Particularly because my opponent went turn 1 Swamp. And they revealed Kahira, right? Oh, elementals, that's what that is. Yeah, I probably have to imagine that this apparition is going to be pretty gas. I wonder why they have basic swamp. Oh, because of the 3-drop. Yeah, that guy. They took my company. That's disgusting. Absolutely gross. What the hell? Oh, we're gonna get super owned here. Oh my. Yep. Getting the Awakener. Brutality seems unplayable in their deck, but somehow it just really worked here. Oh man. Yep. I guess we're just gonna have to kill that thing. That's a free block. Being both of those. Being in real cards feels awful. Not in good shape here, not in good shape, not in good shape. I really wish I had time to get rid of the vial there, but I just can't. Just don't have time. That's gonna dome me for 6, make me discard the stupid birdie. If that's all my opponent had though, that worked kind of fine. Sure, they get to Violin Kahira now. I'd rather have this so my opponent can't attack with the Kahira. Okay, so now the Reclaimer is going to be a 3-4. Which is nice. It does look like my opponent just doesn't have anything else. Which is good for us. It's not bad, but not terrible either. Not good, but not terrible either, I mean. It's weird. So they're like super into this unearth thing. So maybe if we just find like scavenging ooze, we just very easily win from there. That seems like the plan. Man, if they hadn't hit the company off of the brutality, would be in such good shape. Can go score them just to see which cards they have access to. Yeah, they realize that the Reclaimer is just a big boy. Yeah, taking 7. Guess we're taking 8. Put an elemental creature from your hand onto the battlefield. The creature gains haste. Sacrifice it on that step. Okay. Not looking great here. Not looking particularly great. But we are like 1 or 2 cards away from just like turning this around. Let's get Flagstones. Yeah, just pass the turn. Not much to do here. I'm gonna get a canopy off of these Flagstones though. Man, I really need to draw something there. If they have another Skelemental or just kind of anything, we're dead. Ugh. That's not a land, which means that it's bad news for us. Yep. Yep. Yeah, my opponent drew a lot better than I did. So Bojuka Box seems kind of like it's gonna be a big deal. Bojuka Box seems like a big deal. Path and Purge. Oriole Champion seems like it just has protection from their entire deck, kind of. That's kind of about it. Probably not gonna be on the Ghost Quarter plan. Birds are awkward. We're probably not gonna need Tireless Tracker. Definitely not gonna need Raminab. Oh, although I guess that they could have Fulminator Mage. So I just have to leave a Raminab in there. Keep one of those in the mix. Let's go like this. That's cool though. I've never seen elementals with Giganta. I've seen elementals with, well, I've seen elementals with Giganta and elementals with Kahira. With, I guess makes sense. It's kind of neat. It's also nice because it probably means that they can't play Magus of the Moon. Because Magus of the Moon would not work with that thing. Wait, have I seen elementals with Giganta? No, I don't think so. Maybe I'm just mistaken. Yeah, no, there's no way, because the 2-drop is just so important for them. Never mind. I was just confused. It's cool though, like it's a nice little brew that my opponent's got over there. Nice little brewski. Collected Brutality main deck. That got me good. That got me real good. I'm trying to think if there's anything I could have done differently, but I just don't think so. Being on the play. that would have been the right play. Just to be on the play. Sure, let's keep this. And I'm gonna fetch on turn 1 because we are gonna be able to play a 3/3 knight on turn 3. A 4/4 knight on turn 2, sorry. And then we're just gonna grow the knight from there. So basic forest, noble hierarch. In before this member, am I right? Shriekhorn, wow. So they're going super deep on the graveyard stuff. Definitely dropping this knight right now. This seems like a little bit too much. That's just a little bit too much. Sure, they trade for a Thunderkin Awakener, but that's it. Like they wait. Okay. That's 2 free points. Okay. Okay. GG's. Pass to you. They can never ever beat this card. Absolutely impossible for them to beat this. Although I guess we have access to Bojubi Box, so maybe I shouldn't have played Skoos. I should have just played Dryad to develop my mana. I guess technically I could have played both, but I would have had to shock. Spite Bellows. That only triggers when it leaves the battlefield. So I can sack this, go get a Ghost Scooter and Ghost Scooter myself. See that real quick. Because I want to leave the white source here. Nice Spite Bellows there, buddy. You want to attack? This, kids, is what we call the lock. People never play around you go squattering yourself. Granted, it's not the most obvious line ever. It's not the most obvious line ever, but people never play around it. I can company and I can just play a Dryad. Just gonna company, play around Brutality. I mean, it seems rough for my opponent to beat this. Yeah, that's what I thought. That was cool. Turn to knight. Turn to knight. So you're champion the nuts, or is it just okay? It may be just okay. Seems better than the birds, though. But as you can see, whenever you get to curve, like turn 1/1 drop into turn 2/3 drop, it's like it's just such a big deal. It's just such a big deal. Hopefully we don't get Brutality here, because that's gonna suck. But if we don't get Brutality, we get to drop a knight on 2. I guess I'm probably gonna Apparition on 2 actually. Jeez, my opponent's mana base Sims sketch. That's it's a solid pickup. Solid pickup. I think I am blowing up Vial. If we get to it. The problem is if I play the Knight, my opponent brutalities the Knight is just so devastating. Obviously, if we get to on top turn 3 with a Knight in play, it's obviously incredible, but okay, so they did have the brutality, just trading 1 for 1. Huh. So having drawn that, I guess I'm gonna drop the Valakut here. Ugh. You're gonna get the thing that makes me discard. Well, I guess if they do that... Oh, Risen Reef. Okay, so they're going the value route. So I guess with them going the value route, I'm just gonna Apparition. Oh, wow. Well, that's huge. So now I can just double spell. And it sets up my hand super nicely. Of course, they missed the land drop, so like I get to blow up the Vial here, and my opponent doesn't do anything. But like I have to assume that they have something going on in 2. Wait, why wouldn't they swing for 2? For 1? Like it seems free. So there goes that guy. Shriekhorn. Okay. Mill nothing. Okay, so now they're gonna be, they don't have a land drop. I guess they stuck them wrong. So they're drawing Shriekmaw. Drawing Shriekmaw. Now we do this. Get rid of that. Land. So now they draw Shriekmaw, which they're probably going to evoke. Yep. We have Bog if we need it. I'm assuming that my opponent is going to kill the Dryad. Yeah. That is fine. Mail-in. Sure. Yeah, I'm not feeling the not feeling the Shriekhorn really. Sure. That guy doesn't do anything. Can't even attack. Let's get a basic forest. We're gonna sack second plains for flagstones. Well, that's nice. That's very, very nice. So that's just game. What's the best thing they can draw? The 6-1. And it just doesn't matter because I can just validate it. Yeah, this game is over. They can technically put Kahira into play. Take Kahira, then bring it back to hand. There's... oh. Okay, so they did have it. Yeah, this is just game. I don't think my opponent can win anymore. Pew that and pew that. All right, see you for the next round. Alrighty, welcome to round number 3. If I knew the matchup, I would keep this, but in the blind, I don't think we can. Oh my god. Brutal. No. Okay, this hand is good though. So, we're gonna bottom that. We're gonna bottom that. Yeah, I guess Knight is just the best card, so... Turn to Knight is probably like my overall my best chance at winning. Turn to Courser would have also been interesting. Of course, if we're playing against an aggressive deck, that would have been the pick. But in the blind, I think that Knight is just the most powerful card out of all of those. It looks like we're playing against a mid-range deck, so like we just basically have no shot here. Maybe Grixis Shadow? Yeah. We may be up against Grixis Shadow. Okay, pass the turn to you. Again, Knight is legit. Knight is legit. It's not necessarily easy for my opponent to get rid of a big, beefy Knight of the Reliquary. I am going to shock here. The reason is because of Apparition. Because of both Apparition and Courser Crucifix. So you do have some, I don't want to say steep, but you do have some not free mana base requirements. So you have to always watch out for that. Push. All right. Not that there's much that we could have done about that anyway. Just happened to mull to 4 against a grindy matchup. Celebi sometimes. Needless to say, if my opponent has a dismember or something, we're just super mega dead. Mana leak? Oh, drown. Okay. There's an argument for playing around Colin's command, so holding on to this, to the flagstones. I don't think that makes too much sense. And if I do draw a Courser, I probably would rather play a land from the top of the library though. Big Masticore. Big Masticore. It's a cool name. Alright. So do we have any outs? With them thoughts is in me with no cards in hand, I have to assume that they just have TBR here. Yep. Okay. All right, so it's just like Grixis Shadow, the good and classic Grixis Shadow. Nothing strange to see here. Against heavy removal decks and grindy decks, I like to cut the 1-drops. We can do stuff like Archon of Emeria. I think I actually like it here. The reasoning is like it just stops Snapcaster straight up. Dryad is not great because it just doesn't do too much, and we're bringing in more impactful cards like Tracker, Champion, and Path to Exile, so... maybe Bojuki Boy is better than Ghost Quarter. I don't love a Raminap either. There's a very, very narrow scenario where I can get them, just cut them out of their basics. Like I just can go Ghost Quarter lock them, but probably not where I want to be. I guess I can shave a Valakut actually instead of the Ghost Quarter. I think I like that better. Because I'm cutting Dryads already, and Dryad is not the plan that I'm into. Okay. As you can see, I'm still kind of learning as I go with this deck. Like this, definitely, the deck is still very, very new. And even though I'm probably the person that has played the most matches with the deck in the world, because that was the one that built it, I'm still very, very new in terms of I am not sure what the proper decisions are, basically, or certain decisions are, would be better said. Definitely an argument for shocking there, so I can hold a path. It just telegraphs it so obviously though. Depending on what my opponent does here, I think I may just Archon though. Thoughtseize, that's gonna answer the question for me. Because there's two ways that this can work out, right? If I play Courser, I expose the Courser to Snapcaster Dismember, and I may not find a land. But if the Courser survive, it maximizes my chances of actually being able to company on the following turn. So it's definitely interesting. But I think I'm gonna Archon though. Archon also limits my opponent's cantripping. Like they just have to deal with the Archon immediately. Otherwise, we can kind of play the game on our terms, where my opponent simply cannot do anything, because otherwise we can just potentially resolve the company or path. So yeah, my opponent has a decision here. Because if they take one of the 3-drops, I'm just gonna play the other one. Like obviously I'm not gonna just pass with all of this mana going to waste. But there's also a possibility of taking the path. I guess it kind of depends on what my opponent's hand looks like. They're deep in the tank. Deep in the tank. Okay, they end up going for the Archon, which again, as I said, makes a lot of sense. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. That's just a better card. It exposes it to bolt, but I don't think my opponent has bolt, because if they had bolt, they can just bolt the Archon. They can't bolt the Courser, so they would have definitely left they would have not taken the Archon, they would have just left it. All right, so we're gonna take it easy here. Effectively draw a card, gain a life. Say go. We can path my opponent if we want to. We have a bunch of options. We have bog, we have we can go get a white source so we can path. We can go get a fetch land so we can have more control over the top of our deck, which is also very interesting. I have to assume my opponent has Stubborn Denial. The good thing is that we just don't need to do anything about this shadow. We can just let my opponent pass a turn. And even if they have an angler, I don't care because knight is just bigger. So I'd rather save the knight to prevent my opponent from Snapcaster Dismembering, I think. Sure. Scavenge News. Nah, not good enough. Can do better than Scavenge News. That's better than Scavenge News. Sweet. Alright. Well, now I'm pathing this because I know that my mana is going to be taxed the next couple of turns, so stop this one, opponent. Yep, there we go. Take some damage. Yeah, they can't really fetch comfortably because right. And I can company right now if my opponent goes for Drowning the Lock, I can drown myself. Stubborn Denial. Okay. Play land and say go. We are the control deck here a little bit, even though my opponent is the one with like Stubborn Denials and stuff. Magmatic Channeler, that's cool. It's pretty neat. So here we can make the knight into a 7/7. Opponent doesn't even go for it. It's gonna get another fetch land, I guess. But now I am gonna fetch because I'm gonna be using my mana to. Oh, so good. Stub this one, opponent. Yep. Stub this one. Lethal attacker incoming. I love Knight of the Reliquary so much. Such a great card. Such a great card. Perfect power level. Perfect power level. So great. Awesome. Didn't even have to resolve the company. Alright, I like this. I think I like this setup. Let's fire it off again. Maybe the second tracker on the draw, maybe a little bit of overkill. Maybe. And maybe I want more 1-drops. Oof, yeah. Yeah. Don't mind if I do. If we dodge Thoughtseize, we're gonna be in such good shape. Because this card is virtually unkillable for them. Unless I'm stupid. My opponent's out to Warrior Champion is my own stupidity. Just attacking into a Snapcaster Mage or something like that. It's good stuff though. This card has spiked so much. It's so expensive. I remember buying a couple of copies when I was working on Titan Bile because I was testing it in the sideboard, so I just bought a couple of copies mostly just because. And I bought them for like $5 or something, and now they're like 30 or something ridiculous. And the card is super expensive in MTGO too. Temple Garden. Okay. They knew about this, by the way, because they bubbled me. So it's not like I'm hiding information. No second land drop. You know what? Yeah, that's fine. But I'm gonna fetch here because if I draw another land, if I draw another fetch land, I'm definitely gonna want to play a knight that's gonna be a 4/4. They can push my Scavenging Ooze, that's fine. They play an Angler, also fine, not too worried about that. They have to deal with this knight. If I end up with this knight, the game is just gonna be so over. Yeah, that's overboard, you know, my opponent's side. I can win extremely easy without using my graveyard. I can win very, very easily without using my graveyard. I think I'm gonna grow my dude instead of... Yeah, I think so. I could have cracked a clue, but I think that with my opponent having the spell bomb, just guaranteeing that I have a huge ooze, it's probably gonna be better for me. And now we have Tracker going, we're gonna have another Knight going next turn. My opponent still cannot hit a land drop, they can't attack, because they just die on the crackback. This game is just over. We are experiencing garbage time. Literally no reason for us to do anything at all. Just sit here, keep getting further and further ahead on board. Eventually my opponent, yeah, they should have cracked Spellbomb there. They with them not cracking Spellbomb is basically them giving up on the match. Guess I should have discarded the other thing. It's fine. We could go squatter them technically, but probably not worth it. But I'm just gonna leave like a ghost squatter in play just in case I want to. Courser. There we go. Reclaimer on top. Sure. This tracker just doesn't matter anymore, so I'm just gonna serve with it. There we go. Opponent took way too long to crack that spell one. By way too long, I mean exactly one turn too long. But in reality, they just play themselves a little bit. As you can see, like, graveyard doesn't really matter too much. We're good here. Yeah. Awesome. Sweet, 2 and 1. Hello and welcome to round number 4. Currently 2 and 1 with green-white company. This hand seems slow, but I feel like it's doing something powerful. Playing against Flooded Strand. So this can be blue-white control. I'm just gonna go with flex nodes basically, but this could be blue-white, this could be spirits, this could be blade. Floated strands could represent multiple things. Hallowed Fountain. Opt. Okay. Card on top. So opponents hitting land drops. Good for them. Esper. Something. Can we untap, please? Awesome. All right, we get to untap with Reclaimer, so we're looking super good now. I guess there's no real reason for me to do anything, so I'm just gonna keep doing the Reclaimer thing here. If they Kaya's Guile here, we have a couple of options. We can guarantee getting value from Reclaimer, and we can company. I think I'm gonna company. We're risking getting got by force, but it seems worth it. Gained 4 instead of sacrificing my graveyard, exiling my graveyard. Interesting. Well, my opponent needs to do something here. So otherwise, we're just gonna get to run away with this game. Path my trucker. 9 is kind of nice. So it is Esper. So it means that this operation is going to be pretty bad, which is not great. But now we can go get Canopy and we can start really getting our money's worth with this excavator. Never mind. Never mind. Not loving that. Not loving that for sure. Kind of loving that. So let's lead on knight first. Counter draw. You. Always yes, always yes, always yield. You. Fetch. Yep, you guessed it. Target you. We still could have Ghost Squatter ourselves and we still had a Reclaimer activation. Feels pretty good. Love to see when that happens. Apparitions are hell awkward there. Eidolon, Arcane, Mind Sensor, Tracker. Not that I love those cards, it's just that I guess they're better than the alternative. Knight of Autumn, just a 4-3 beater. I just don't think I want to be playing Auric Champion. But Jukibog doesn't really get any value. Yeah, I guess I'm just doing this. Maybe Knight of Autumn is just too bad. Maybe Purge for Ashiok. I have to assume my opponent's playing Ashiok. And I'm also assuming my opponent's playing Planeswalkers. Just another classic example of turn 1 Reclaimer going unanswered and then completely taking over the game. It's still powerful. It is still pretty powerful. Obviously not as powerful as it was, but you still have to respect it. Also, I'm pretty sure that these decks don't play any sort of Field of Ruin or anything like that, so should be safe to play out my lands. Love this hand. It's not the best hand I've ever seen, but like it's pretty solid. Is there a reason to grow Reclaimer? I don't think so. I don't think there's any reason for doing that, but kept the card on top, so I'm gonna assume that they found an answer for this. I guess Apparition is an answer to Ashiok, yeah, so yeah, okay. I shouldn't have cut the Apparitions. It was bad game 1, but I should be cyberling for my opponent's cyber plan, not for my opponent's main deck plan. So maybe I should be leaving in a couple of Apparitions, especially in place of the Celestial Purge. Like Purge is just worse. Awkward. Just gonna activate Reclaimer here. Next turn I can Hierarch plus activate Reclaimer. Such a good card. Such a good card. Great value engine. it always puts your opponent in the squeeze, right? It's just like, yeah, are you using your premium removal spell to get rid of my 1-drop? And even sometimes just like freaking path your reclaimer. Or am I just gonna get a ton of value out of this single stupid card? It's just a good deal. Just a good deal. Look at this guy, just a good deal. Okay. So that casts both Archmage's Charm and the other thing. The other charm. Gust. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That doesn't matter. Am I just getting Flagstones anyway? I think so. I'm just getting Flagstones anyway. So now we find, excellent, I was gonna say, if we find an untapped land, we can go Dryad into Noble Hierarch, which should give us a ton of mana. For a lot of mana to work with next turn. Path my Dryad, be my guest. And now this coming turn, we're going to be able to Raminap and or Tracker. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I think I'm going to lead on Raminap. It's a pretty damn obvious cryptic command, so they probably have to counter this. And then we get to resolve Tracker, and we get to get a clue. That's the issue with Path to Exile, right? Just gives you too much mana to work with. If this resolves, I think I'm just going to play Foothills from my graveyard, and I'm just gonna attack and say go. Guarantee that I get value. Yep. Cryptic, probably counter draw. Okay. Guaranteeing that I'm getting some value, playing the best threat. Putting Kuthrath here, which is, I guess, is what's going on here. They can ask for a charm, make me discard too, but that seems fine to me. Didn't bring in Bojuki Box, I have to watch out for that. Yep. Yeah, I guess I just misboarded here. Just gonna name Jace my Sculptor, by the way. This Cryptic number 2. Brutal. Brutal. So I'm gonna do Jace the Mind Sculptor. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Man, we can technically kill this if we want to. That's a devastating draw there. That's devastating. The good thing is that realistically we're like a collected company away from being back in the game. Like all it really takes is just like drawing a collected company. Okay, so they do have field. Okay, so it's not Jendrek's list. Because I don't think the Jendrek was playing field. This hierarch looking pretty bad. But to be fair, Apparition would also be just as bad as this hierarch right here, so not that much of a difference really. It's a big shark. Yeah, that's a big shark. It's a big shark. This purge is so bad. They probably have another shark. Although I guess they're winning the race. So it's just correct for them to attack. Yeah, something tells me that this Reclaimer is not going to be enough. We need to find one of my good cards here. That's rough. Are there cards that matter anymore? Even company is just not very good anymore. Then we're going to be going to game 3 shortly. I'm going to be going to game number 3 shortly. I do guess Kaya's Guile is a reason for wanting to have access to my mana dorks. My opponent is just really struggling to cast this cryptic command. There we go. I guess that hierarchs. No, never mind. These are basically the same card in this matchup, I guess. Still don't think I want Bujuk Bog. It's kind of rough. The mulligan in this matchup seems miserable. Okay, that's a good draw. it's a good draw. So, what are we doing here? I think I'm just shipping the Temple Garden, and I'm forcing my opponent, like, they have to have a push on 1. If they don't have the push on 1, they're just super dead. I guess I'm shipping the Hierarch, actually. All right, push. Show me. Ding. Splinter Twin assembled. I'm gonna activate now to play around Gust. Just grab Flagstones for Flagstones. Classic play. And I'm pretty sure that we're topping this Reclaimer. Because now if my opponent doesn't answer it, they're gonna be in trouble. You can field my Valakut. I still have another one. I'm gonna try to get him. Brutal. So I guess I'm still getting a Valakut here, just don't mean my opponent for 3. It's honestly brutal that they didn't even have to fetch. Maybe I should have, yeah, maybe I should have played the tracker too. I was thinking about guaranteeing that I get value from the tracker, but like my opponent would need to have exactly second verdict because Snapcaster doesn't do anything. Yeah, that might have been a mistake. Opponent has shown me Shark Typhoon. If they Shark, that's also fine. Counter draw. Sure. That sucks. So now Snapcaster is able anymore. It's not looking good here. Definitely not looking good. I need something like a collected company. I need something like a Yeah, basically collected company. I've not seen a company this entire match. I've not seen a company this entire match, but let's see if we're gonna get one, I guess. So we're gonna shock. They can shock and make me discard too. Seems like a good line. It's very strong. Alright, company of the top. Not as good as company, but like can't really complain about that one too much. Gross. Company, please. Another one of those. It's not like I can really play around stuff at this point in the game. We just, you know, need to draw good cards. It's not really too much to do about it. It's just Gust. And the problem is this knight feels like it's not good enough, but at the same time I can't bottom it. Which is super rough. Because it's just better than my average draw. So I'm in a spot where I can't do it, and I also can't not do it. Not a good time, not a good time. Next turn my opponent gets to bounce their own Snapcaster, draw a card, then ugh, gross. Yeah. Opponent's drawing a lot better than I am. I mean, at this point, he's virtually locked up. All right, company or bust. I have to draw company here. 3 Knight of the Reliquaries in a draw in a row. But yeah, this is just bad, right? Because my opponent minuses on their dude, then they Kaya's Guile. Or they just push. That's also a thing that they can do. Cycle Shark. So if my opponent doesn't see the line, we still have one out. Oh wow. Company. Okay, so what my opponent should have done, they should have bounced Snapcaster, then on my draw step, play Snapcaster, flashback Esper Charm, make me discard my card, because there's a Teferi, so even if I draw company, I wouldn't be able to do it. But at that point, I could have still companied, assuming my opponent has nothing, of course, I could have companied into Dryad plus Raminep Excavator or Courser. If I company into Courser, then I need to find 2 lands off the top for lethal. Or if I find Raminep, I just straight up win. But yeah, it just wasn't in the cards. So good games. See you for the last round. All right, welcome to the last round with Green-White Company. Love this hand. I'm gonna Hierarch on 1. Because we have good plays up the curve, so... That actually has been one of the important things about the deck. It's like you have to kind of realize what each game is going to be about, basically. So, well, now that we know my opponent is on Tron and I have Raminep Excavator, I think we're going to be okay here. Okay, so my opponent didn't search for anything, so we have perfect info. I think I do play the Excavator this turn, though. Because next turn I can just company if I want to. That's obviously a mistake from my opponent because it doesn't really achieve anything. The Chromatic Star doesn't put you behind on mana. So what they did is they allowed themselves, unless they have an instant, which I doubt that they have. Yep. So they basically allowed themselves to draw one of their basic forests. So that was strictly a mistake from my opponent. Okay, so we're playing against Tron. So we want Revoker, we want Knight of Autumn, Mind Sensor, and Archon of Emeria. Yep. These are good, Scavegenus is not good. Apparition is also not great. I guess it's like okay, you can answer like a Karn the Great Creator or something. Tracker just put some pressure. Knight is great, Courser's okay. Just card advantage basically. And in this matchup I like Archon, but I don't like Eidolon. Let's go with this. The goal, of course, is to put together Ghost Quarter, Raminap, and Dryad. That's the goal in a matchup like this one. Yeah. So what Bird allows me to do is allows me to Knight onto... We cannot beat a turn 3 card, obviously, right? Because they're just going to minus on our Knight and we're going to be very sad, but... it may be able... We may be able to beat most other starts from my opponent here. May. Strong emphasis on May. Like if they have Karn, baby Karn, for example, we should be in okay shape. They do have Liberated though. Yep. So unless they're idiots, we should be dead. Damn it. My opponent's not an idiot. So at this point it's pretty much over. Unless they have literally nothing else. If they have... Okay, so that means that they have a second Karn. Yep. Revoker? Company? No need in continuing to play the game. It's a loss in proposition. Yep. Let's go again. Ugh. I'm gonna keep it, but this could backfire so badly for us. So what we want to see is land into... We want to see land into Raminap. If we see land into Raminap, we just win. Never mind. That's a pretty good pickup for them. Land, please. Revoke. Well, we're not looking good anymore. pretty unfortunate, really. We do play 25 lands. Though a couple of those, usually when I look at this deck, I like to see it as a 23 land deck with 2 win conditions, and I count Valakut as win condition, basically. I don't really count Valakut as a land. It's basically like your win condition that actually just taps for mana. Fortunately for me, my opponent kept a non-turn 3 Tronk hand, which is obviously just a mistake, because it's the only thing that matters. So that's awesome for us, because it gives us a shot. Oof. Well, that's great. It's perfectly fine. No legal targets. Am I playing Revoker here? Or am I swinging for 2? So I swing for 2, my opponent goes to 14, and Knight becomes... we can actually ramp because we have the Dryad. Ooh, that's nice. So I guess that we are just serving here. We're gonna get to do this twice, and that's something that I have found, by the way. There's a little bit of tension. There's a little bit of tension between wanting to hit your land drops for Dryad in order to activate Valakut, and wanting to enact your Ghost Quarter plan. So a little bit of tension there, which is certainly interesting. So this is going to swing 4. One, two, 3, 4. Sack this, get it tapped land. So we need to draw a land here. Reclaimer. Maybe we can just put enough beef in play that we can just get away with it here. Maybe. Just maybe. Well, then Kraken Relic is obviously great for us. So crack this. Yes. Temple Garden. Go get Ghost Quarter. Again, that's the combo that we discussed a little bit earlier, where because we have Dryad and Knight, the Dryad makes it so the Flagstones becomes a forest or a plains, which is what Knight it requires you to discard, and then you can actually do the thing. Baby Karn. We need to draw something here, though. Relic of Progenitus, which they can't crack. So if we draw a Rhyming App, we're going to be perfect. Well, that's really nice. So we get to Revoker the Relic. Oh man, we have so many, so many lines here. Okay, so we have access to 4 mana, 5 counting the night activation. But if we activate night, then we don't serve. So I think I really want to play Archon. And I also think that I want to clear the Baby Karn, because Baby Karn can otherwise go fetch. It can go fetch, what's his name, in the Snare Bridge. So I think if I activate Reclaimer and Knight, I can actually get up 1 mana, which starts to set up my Dryad. But I can use Revoker instead, which means that I get to attack the Karn with this 2, and I swing for 2 at them. And then they go down to 8. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the play. So we're gonna Revoker, name it Relic of Progenitus. And then I'm gonna activate getting Flagstones. We're gonna Archon of Emeria. And then this at Karn, this at Karn, this at them. And this means that my opponent cannot make my dudes smaller because they can't crack Relic. And these Chromatic Sphere is basically stranded in their hand because if they play it, they just lose to my board. If they play Oblivion Stones, they can crack it because the Archon makes, even if they have the last missing piece of Tron, Archon of Emeria makes it come into play tapped. So I think this should be locked. Again, my opponent should need to have Dismember for Archon into land, into Ugin or O-Stone. Alright, sweet, we got a nice little 3 and 2. Again, the deck list needs a lot of work. Like, for example, I'm still not sure what I want. Eidolons or Archon is just like so much of a better card that I'd rather just have Archon. Because Archon is a lot better, by the way. I don't know how I want to split the sideboard slots. For example, I felt like I was a little bit behind against the control deck, which would make me want to play more cards like Tireless Tracker, maybe up to the 4th copy, maybe play other cards that allow me to play a little bit more at instant speed, or something like Veil of Summer. The thing is that Veil of Summer in a company deck is just kind of by design not where I really want to be. Like, it's kind of awkward. Voice of Resurgence also an option. Again, I don't really like it, but it could be annoying enough for a control opponent. So like, there's a lot of things to figure out still about the list, but I've been having a ton of fun playing it, and I hope you enjoyed it. So let me know how you liked it in the questions, and yeah, thank you for supporting Ice, and I'll see you in the next video, folks. Bye bye.